The nurse who didn't walk away. The private hospital lobby was unusually quiet for a Monday afternoon. Sleek silver benches lined the glass-paneled walls. Soft music floated from above, and a handful of patients waited in scattered silence, scrolling through their phones or half-dozing. Elena Brooks, a black nurse in her 30s, strode through the lobby in blue scrubs, clipboard in hand and gloves already on. She'd just finished assisting in a minor procedure when she was called to escort a new patient from the front. What she didn't expect was an elderly white man, alone, slouched at the edge of a bench, clutching his chest. His skin was pale, his lips parted, eyes glazed with fear. "Sir?" Elena stepped forward. "Are you all right?" The man blinked slowly at her, confused. Then he groaned and leaned forward in pain. Suspected cardiac event in the lobby. Elena spoke in her radio. "Request immediate triage backup." Kneeling beside him, she switched into emergency mode. "Emelina, I'm a nurse. Can you hear me?" He nodded faintly, his breathing shallow. "What's your name?" "H. Howard Kent," he rasped. His pulse was erratic. Skin clammy, breath shallow and sharp. Elena worked quickly, pulling aspirin from her bag. "Can you chew this for me?" she asked, placing the tablet in his hand. "I think it's my heart," he gasped. "You're safe now," she said calmly. "Stay with me." Out of the corner of her eye, she noticed a man in a navy suit standing behind the glass doors, arms crossed. He didn't move, just watched that Howard's body trembled. Elena focused in, stabilizing his breathing and monitoring his vitals. Still no triage team. "Where's my backup?" she asked into the radio again. "Code Blue backup is delayed. Short-staffed, due to administrative transition." Elena stiffened. The hospital had been acquired just that morning. Half the emergency float team had been laid off. Howard wheezed. "I can't breathe." "You can, Mr. Kent," Elena said firmly. "Just look at me." She stayed with him, on the floor, holding his wrist, keeping him grounded. Minutes passed like hours. Then, finally, paramedics rushed in. Elena briefed them swiftly, then helped lift him onto the stretcher. As they wheeled him away, Howard squeezed her hand. "You're the only one who came," he whispered. "Thank you." She smiled, barely. Later that evening, in the staff locker room, Elena's phone buzzed with a notification.HR notice. Immediate termination, breach of role assignment. Unauthorized medical intervention without a supervising physician present. Effective immediately. She read it 3 times. She had just saved a man's life and lost her job for it. She didn't cry, didn't rage, just stared at her reflection, trying to decide whether to be angry or simply numb. What she couldn't have known was that the man she saved wasn't just any patient. He was Howard Kent, the founder and owner of the hospital chain that had just fired her, and he remembered her name. 3 days later, Elena hadn't left her apartment. Her phone hadn't rung. Until now. "Miss Brooks," a warm voice said. "This is Catherine, assistant to Mr. Howard Kent. He'd like to meet with you privately. Transportation will be arranged." An hour later, Elena stepped out of a sleek black sedan in front of a gleaming glass tower. Kent Medical Headquarters. Security greeted her by name. She was led through a marble hallway to a private elevator. At the top floor, the doors opened into a sun-drenched office. Howard Kent sat in a wheelchair near the window, dressed in a charcoal suit, blanket across his knees. His breath was slow, but his eyes sharp. Standing beside him was the man from the lobby, Thomas Crane, the new hospital director. Elena's chest tightened. "Nurse Brooks," Howard said. "Come in." She stepped forward cautiously. "How are you?" she asked. "Alive. Thanks to you." He turned to Thomas. "She saved my life while half your staff stood still. Then you fired her." "Mr. Kent," Thomas began. I didn't ask for excuses," Howard cut in. "I asked for accountability." Thomas went pale. Howard turned back to Elena. "You didn't know who I was. That's why I trust you. You acted not for reward, but because it was the right thing to do." Elena's voice was quiet. "I couldn't let him suffer." Howard nodded, then slid a folder across the table. Inside was a job offer. Director of Compassionate Clinical Program salary. Triple her previous pay. Budget. Full. Authority. Total. Mission. Build a new outreach division centered on empathy over bureaucracy. "We're opening a new hospital wing," Howard said softly. "It will be named after the nurse who reminded me what medicine is really about." He handed her a plaque. "The Elena Brooks Center for Compassionate Care, because saving a life should never cost you yours." Tears welled in her eyes. Behind her, Thomas Crane was asked to resign on the spot. Months later, the new hospital wing opened with cameras rolling, patients clapping, and children waving balloons. Elena stood beside Howard as she addressed the crowd. "Compassion doesn't come with a paycheck," she said. "It comes from seeing someone in pain and choosing not to walk away." When the cameras faded, Howard leaned toward her. "I built this place with numbers," he said. "But you gave it heart." In the hallway just outside, a framed photo now hangs that T shows a nurse kneeling beside an elderly man, holding his hand, and in the background, a man in a suit watching from behind glass. Indifference, frozen in the moment, everything began to change. If this story moved you, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more tales that speak to the heart. Drop a comment to let us know where you're watching from. And always remember, kindness isn't protocol. It's a choice.